The next ones, they're going to have you graph the circle in what they call general form by putting it in standard form and completing the square. So when I do this, first of all, I'm going to put my x's together, my y's together, my constant term over on the other side of my equation. So I'm going to start with x squared minus 8x. I'm going to do completing the square, so I'm going to leave a space before I put my y squared plus y squared minus 6y. Leave a little spot because I'm going to put some stuff in there, and that's going to be a minus 21 instead of a plus 21, because when I move it over to the other side, I've got to change my sign. We are then going to do completing the square on the x's and on the y's. So again, we did completing the square before. We took half the middle number and squared it. So half of negative 8 is negative 4. A negative 4 squared is a positive 16. So I'm going to add 16 here. I also then have to add 16 to the other side of my equation, so my equation stays balanced. Then I'm going to do the same thing with my y's. Half of the negative 6 would be negative 3. A negative 3 squared is a positive 9. So I'm going to add 9 to both sides of my equations. This then should factor out into a perfect square. If I factored it the long way, x and x, the end is positive, so both sides are the same as the middle. Negative and a negative, factors of 16 that add up to 8, 4, and 4. What it ends up being is just half that middle number, right? Half of negative 8 was negative 4, so x minus 4 squared. So same thing on this one. If I would have factored it out the long way, I would have had y minus 3 and y minus 3. Just taking half of that middle number tells you what that's going to be. And then on the other side, I'm going to do my adding and subtracting. Let's see, 16 and 9 is 25. 25 minus 21 would be 4. Now I have my equation in standard form. I can pick out my center and my radius. So my center would be at positive 4 and positive 3. My radius is the square root of 4, spell, which is 2. So over 4 up 3 with a radius of 2. And I have my circle. So number 5, I want to put my circle in standard form. So I'm going to have x squared minus 8x, leave a spot, plus my y squared plus 4y equals the negative 4 that's already over there. So if I complete my square on my x's, half of negative 8 would be negative 4, and negative 4 squared would be 16. So I'm going to add 16 to both sides. And then on my y's, half of 4 is 2, and 2 squared is positive 4, so I'm going to add 4 to both sides. So x squared minus 8x plus 16 would factor into
x minus 4 squared.
X minus 4 squared. And y squared plus 4y plus 4 would factor into
Y plus 2 squared.
y plus 2 squared. And over here, if I do my adding and subtracting, the 4's are going to cancel out, so I'm just going to get my 16 over there, right? So my center would be at 4, negative 2, and my radius is 4. Square root of 16 is 4. So 4, negative 2 with a radius of 4.
Okay.
Something sort of like that. So number 6, we have x squared minus 6x plus y squared, no other y's, equals the 7 I got to move to the other side, so it's going to be a positive 7. So if I complete the squares on my x's, I'm going to get
X minus 3 squared.
x minus 3, what would I have to add here? 9. Is that going to work out right? Something's not right, is it? Oh yeah, it is. It is, never mind. X minus 3 squared. Here I just have a y squared, so I don't need to complete my square on that one, and if I add 9 over here, I get 16, right? So my center on this one is going to be at
3, negative 1.
nope. The 3's right. What are you adding and subtracting from this? 0, right? So it's just going to be at 3, 0. And my radius
4.
is 4. So 3, 0 would be right there. And my radius of 4. Would look something sort of like that. So yes, if I really wanted to, I could write that as y minus 0 squared.